Greetings to you all. Welcome to this broadcast. I trust that it is well with all of you. I trust that you're well. As you join the broadcast, please let me know whether you can see and can also hear clearly, as I am here to address a very important matter, one that was brought to my attention today, and I will not allow today to go by without my addressing the same. So welcome. As you join the broadcast, let me know whether you can see and you can also hear clearly, please, so that I can give redress to this situation with Kidackie, Amsterdam, and those who have called into his broadcast to speak to my decision. And I'm well aware and I'm quite au fait with the nature of political matters in Guyana, here in South America. And because of my awareness of the same, it commands or demands that I do what I'm doing right here, right now, to make it pellucid to Amsterdam and anyone in your circle. More than anything else, to let you know that you're invited to be right here. If you have the means, you can join me live on this broadcast or any other. I'm prepared to sit with you. I'm prepared for you to come and sit here with me so that you can answer live to the questions I will pose today, and that you can speak here clearly to that which I shall today. I will play for you video excerpts from Kidackie Amsterdam's broadcast this morning, and I want you to hear his view regarding my decision, along with that of the People's Movement. Shalom and blessings to those of you who are saints. I want you to hear Mr. Amsterdam's viewpoint. I would, though, be very cautious to inform you that this is not an occasion for me to fight Amsterdam or for us to launch attacks at anybody. It's one in which Guyanese must understand, as I would have said from the beginning, that you must be educated. You must be, in many instances, re-educated. Many people in this country have got to be re-educated or educated and properly informed about independent thinking. Guyana society does not lend itself to independent thinking, and it's quite unfortunate. Many of our people, especially in the two political parties that are known to be the dominant parties, namely the PPP, there's nothing civic, so there's no PPP-C in Guyana anymore. The PPP and the PNC, those two dominant groups, believe that everybody has to fit into either of the two, and there's no room for anyone else. Weak minds and minds that are fragile and cannot think for themselves would think that, okay, this is the easiest thing to do, because Guyana's apparent history and apparent destiny just lies in the PNC and the PPP. And for those like Kidackie who are intimidated by failure and are intimidated by the, as he called it, behemoth called the PPP, hence you cannot deal with them by yourself or with a group of independent minds who should stick to what I'm saying today, then why should I even consider merging or collating with people who are going to do the things about which I will speak? I'll begin today by showing you what Kidackie had to say on his program this morning. I want you all to hear it quite clearly.
Justice. I don't know why, but let's keep it this way. I don't want to restart.
All right, that's Kidackie.
Good. So when I heard that Apostle Nigel London is planning to launch his own political party and so on and so forth, I said, bad move. Bad move. Are we about to split our votes? Are we about to split our resources? Are we about to challenge each other? Are we about to fight against each other? At this time, when we need unity, Are you saying that there is no political party that Apostle Nigel London can work with? There's no political party that he shares what I would call loosely similar convictions with? I've already many calls. You have already many calls. Many of you have made that call for me to form my own political party. But I've always reminded you, I'm a part of a political party. And it will do us no good for me to go and try to go on my own. But how does that serve the cause? How does that help us to remove this behemoth, this corrupt criminal cabal known as the PPP? How will it? I don't see how we can necessarily benefit from people forming more political parties now. Good. I think what can benefit us more is unity, that unity of purpose. House divided can't stand. We all hear all of those things over time and so on. Good. So it would be nice. I don't know who has the temerity, the daring to sit and say to Apostle Nigel London, my brother, I think you should reconsider, and I'm saying that here. I hope he is listening, or somebody is listening, and then who will tell him, well, Apostle Mr. Amsterdam is saying he thinks he should reconsider that move. Come, let's talk over the WPA. The WPA has space for everybody. You see, a lot of people believe that the solution is forming their own political party, and they will get into the National Assembly and so on. But when you get into the National Assembly as a Lone Ranger, what happens? What happens in the National Assembly as a Lone Ranger? I am sure if I were to contest the elections as an independent, I will definitely win a seat. But that seat that I win might cost the coalition the presidency. Because the nature of Ghana politics is whoever wins the larger blocks of votes, the larger block of votes, will get the presidency. Even if they don't win the majority of seats, they will get the presidency. So like in 2011, you had the PPP winning the presidency, but they had a minority parliament because the opposition outnumbered.
Okay, so that's the first part. And that's what was brought to my attention because Kidackie made a request that people should bring this to my attention, hence it was. And in it being brought to my attention, the discussion arose as to whether it would not be more beneficial for me to, John, as he said, there's a lot of room in the WPA. And I should reconsider that which I'm doing, as though I'm a Lone Ranger. When I said that it would be the people's movement that would be seeking or allowing itself to be a representative of the people of Guyana. And Kidackie spoke about disunity that can arise. I'm seeking to divide or split the votes. First of all, Kidackie is suggesting and projecting here and proposing that no one who supports the PPP Civic would ever vote for anyone apart from the PPP Civic. And there's nothing civic about you. There's no civic arm because Jack Dale controls everything. He has eliminated anything called the civic arm of the PPP. And Kidackie's view is that you can only vote for PNC or the PPP. And if the individuals in the PPP Civic or the PPP are not voting for the PPP, then they will never vote for anybody else. And the only vote that anyone can have is from or if you are of my ethnicity or my persuasion, then the only vote I would have in reference to how they speak politically would be that of people from PNC, because nobody who supported the PPP will ever vote for Nigel Land. That's his reasoning. So anybody who forms a group, a movement, a party to represent the people of this country, and you are opposed to the PPP, then you must be a friend of the PNC. Is that how I'm supposed to reason as a 49-year-old Guyanese man? That in all of my years of seeing this country be disrespected internationally, I've traveled and I've heard of people speak or would have spoken about this country. I have had to represent Guyanese in Jamaica in front of immigration officers, say to them, don't do this. You're not going to speak to Guyanese in this manner. I've had to represent teachers and they know who they are. To say, why are you only having Guyanese teachers pulled over and nobody else, everybody else will walk through? What is so special about them? I have seen the disrespect. And I'm here at this age to think, or being made to think, or I'm being asked to think, that the only way that any representation can be made in the House of Assembly is if you are with the coalition or you are with the PPP. So Kidackie has, I would like to assume or presume that he spoke for himself. I would not think that he spoke on behalf of Robbie Norton. I wouldn't say that. I'm not that irresponsible. But I've seen the supporters of the PNC and the APNU AFC selling this foolishness. And I'll speak to you all today. Jose Morgan, you came to join me live in the broadcast for us to talk because I just played what he said. And if there's one thing that I'm not, it's slow in understanding. If Kidackie has said that if I were to go as a lone ranger, or I'm forming this party, it's a bad move, he said. And he's got the courage to say it's a bad move. Because in doing this, I would split the vote. What does that mean? Whose vote am I splitting? PPP's vote? No. So he's speaking to the coalition. And he said that even if they were to be one seat won, or had in the House of Assembly, it doesn't mean that there's more strength. Because we have to get together, unite, to defeat this behemoth in his terminology. He called it behemoth. What about the statement did I miss? Hosea. And I would not entertain you for a long time because I'm here to present or speak to a particular matter, not to entertain you. But I'll just give you a chance. As you said, I've missed what he said. You can present it. Since I'm misrepresenting what he said, you come and explain to me what he said. And I'm welcoming you in the broadcast, by the way. I can just request that you can join the broadcast live. I'll bring you on here live to speak. And let's see how best you can represent when I play what I've said. Why would I, as a grown man, as an independent thinker, why should I sit here and say within myself that Aubrey Norton, who is the leader of the coalition at this moment, the leader of the PNC, the leader, the official leader of the opposition, why should I sit here as an adult male, 49 years old, and say to myself that Aubrey Norton, who is the official leader of the opposition, needs my support in order for him to defeat the PPP? And Aubrey Norton needs the support of all the other groups, because Kidackie said he wouldn't form a party on his own because he could win a seat, but he wouldn't do that. Because we have to all get together to defeat this behemoth and this criminal cabal named the PPP. So you're telling me that in 2023, you are not convinced that you are capable of entering an electoral race against the PPP Civic and defeating them? Why should I ever commit myself to weak people who believe that they need as much unity of these faces to defeat the PPP? It shows how weak you are. That's the first point. You are already expressing to me that you are concerned that I can split vote. Me? What? And I've asked the same thing of the PPP members of parliament who will come and speak to me. Why are you all so concerned about what I do? It tells me quite a bit. Why are you so bothered and so concerned about my decisions regarding this country? I have said what many of you don't want to say, which is that I am prepared to serve the people of Guyana. Do you hear the difference? I never asked to lead anybody. I am not paid to lead a soul. You don't see anything on my screen saying you could donate this and cash app this and send nothing. I am not paid $1 to represent anybody's cause. And the man, Orbie Norton, who's paid more than $500,000. I think at one time it was about 750,000. I'm starting to be corrected. But Orbie Norton has got a vehicle assigned to him. He's got an office assigned to him that he can use. He's got staff assigned to him. He's got he's got a budget. I have no such thing. And I had to stand, along with other people, in front, for example, of the Mackenzie Sports Club to fight for respect to be given to Linden. And up until today, the people have taken the ground from the people in Linden. And Orbie Norton has not put his toe in front there to tell Trinidadians to stop disrespecting Guyanese. And Kidackie is telling me that I should be, because of Jagdeo party, I should be so concerned that I don't want to split the votes of the African because I know just where he's headed, or those who are supporting the PNC. I should be careful not to split those votes just so we can unite and get rid of the PPP. So here's my question to you, Kidackie Amsterdam. Should we get rid of the PPP? Are you telling me that I, Nigel Nyambi, Elijah Kimo, as you say, London, that I should sit back and let Orbie Norton lead me? Man, let's be serious here. Let's be serious, Kidackie. You telling me that I, who would stand publicly when the girl said that Dharamlal buggered and raped her? Norton was not the first to go out and to fight for anybody. Norton joined a protest. Are you telling me, seriously saying to me, that I should be led by a man who cannot even stand to defend the cause of a girl who said she was raped and buggered by a minister in the government? Are you seriously telling me that I should support a man who, when ExxonMobil was discovered to have, according to what the news presented, and Jagdeo could not deny this, they could not account for $214 million. Someone, or ones within the Ministry of Natural Resources could have written off 203 million Guyana US dollars. 203 million. Say, Exxon, y'all don't owe this anymore. It's okay. Just pay us 3 million. They were up 211 million. Are you telling me, sir, that Norton has not once, for even 1 second, stood in front of ExxonMobil's office in Kingston to say, y'all are not going to rape this country any longer. You are not going to rape this country any longer. You and Jagdeo are not going to do this. You telling me that I should, because you want to get rid of the PPP, I should support Orbie Norton? So tell me, Mr. Amsterdam, once or should the PPP be removed from administration and the PNC, or what you call the coalition, wins the next election, can you tell me, Mr. Kidackie Amsterdam, if you believe that Orbie Norton is man enough to lead this country in reference to the neo-colonialists, the new colonizers, the ones who believe that they own Essequibo, they own our oil, they own our resources, and they could do whatever they want to do? lest they put you out of political office. Are you telling me that Norton would be able to lead this country? Or lead me? Is that what you're saying, Kidackie? Or is it that you're saying, which is what I gather, that we should just unite so we can get rid of the PPP? Then what? So you're telling me that 700 plus or more thousand Guyanese, you're telling me that Guyanese must now be subjected to going into a polling station, heading into a polling booth, putting a tick, as let's say just mark something. Doesn't matter anymore. Just put a tick somewhere and we'll count it. It doesn't matter whether the elections are fair or not. They must go into this environment and they should do what you call vote for someone just to get rid of the PPP. Is that how you intend for this country to be run? The richest country in the world, you're asking us for us to be run in a manner whereby we just get rid of the PPP. That's it. Just get rid of the PPP. It doesn't matter who comes into office. Just get rid of the PPP. It doesn't matter what Norton does. It doesn't matter how weak he is. It doesn't matter how narcissistic he is in reference to his public demeanor. He cannot be criticized. This man, you telling me that you said that there are those, and I'll play the other part of the clip in a minute. You said that there are those who would follow me, and I should bring them to. I should lead them to protest on Tuesdays, or I should lead them to lending their voice, or their vote, as a matter of fact, to the coalition for what? Just to get rid of the PPP? So, what about the fact that the coalition, as I speak to you, the coalition as you talk about that I should support, because we want to be united to get rid of this behemoth called the PPP. The coalition was given by Claudette Singh, because at the end of the day, whatever Lorenfi was saying, she wasn't accepting until he got to the right figure. 215,000 plus votes. 215,000 votes. And you telling me, Mr. Kidackie Amsterdam, you were saying that of 215,000 Guyanese, Norton cannot even assemble 1,000 in 3 years or 2 years. He can't find one out of 215,000. He can't assemble 1,000 people to march in Georgetown against the criminal cabal that Jagdeo leads. And it's just the top of them. I'm telling you that. The top tier of the PPP are where the demons are. And Norton can't find 1,000 people out of 215,000. And I should support such a man who said to me and others that should he take to the streets of Georgetown, Guyana, the PPP will send miscreants into the midst of the protesters and they'll destroy people's buildings. And I said to Aubrey Norton that if you would tell me that as the official leader of the opposition, who leads 215,000 people, you cannot, if you have 1,000 or 2,000 on the road, deal with 10 or 5 who wants to come because they pay to break up people's stuff, you are not qualified to lead me because you're weak. If 200 people or 20 people hold on one man who wants to destroy any store in Georgetown, nobody else will try it. You don't need 200, just 10 or 5. But you are weak, and you are well aware that you cannot in the least command the support of 1,000 people to walk anywhere in Georgetown. That's a fact. You, Kidackie, are aware that Aubrey Norton sees the tens upon other hundreds of billions of Guyana dollars just being dished out to friends and families, and that's what they say, friends and families and favorites of the PPP. And Norton is yet to go before one project with 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 people or 100 people and say, stop this work now, because this is ethnic discrimination. If we don't have an African Guyanese who is qualified to do this, as there are many, then this work is not going on. Norton can't even do that. But Norton must lead me. Kidackie, are you serious? I take it that you were. My responsibility is not to ask for the vote of people. It is to encourage the voice of the Guyanese to be heard again. Their voices must be heard. Not their vote, their voices. They must be strong enough to go into any polling station or wherever they are and say, my voice shall be heard today. I will speak to those who have abused me for all of these years. I'll speak to those who have refused to respect the fact that I am the owner of the wealth of this country. Not they own it. I own it. And they will treat me with that respect. It is the voice of the Guyanese that I'm encouraging to be heard, not their votes. Why should I be responsible for being among people who, when they were elected in 2015, most of them you couldn't get to see face to face. You would call and they refused to answer the phone. They tell you have to talk to some secretary and to some representative and you can't get to see them. They rejected their own. Granger could not be seen by people who lived and fought for him to be where he is. And you telling me that I should support ungrateful people just because the PPP is bad? Listen to me, Mr. Kidackie. I do not ever subscribe to the lesser of two evils. I don't support evil. I do not support evil. I should lend my support, sir, to a man who said that the voters list is bloated, which it is. A man who said that the voters list lends itself to rigging, which it does. A man who saw that Jagdeo sat and apologized to a family because their dead mother's signature was found in local government list of endorser, those who would have endorsed a candidate. You telling me that Norton saw all of that and still contested the election and didn't have the power to stop it through the support of people. And I should support that. Kidackie, I'm presenting things to you that in your response, if you choose to have one, you'll address these things I'm saying to you. Because all you ask me to do is to support people so that we can get rid of the PPP. You are asking me to lend my support to a party who, for the first time in all of my days in this country, when I went to purchase credit for my phone, I saw that I had to pay a tax on the credit. Even just to get data on my phone, I had to pay a tax. Water was taxed. You telling me that the group that taxed the life out of Guyanese, I should give my support to them just so that we can get rid of the PPP? And then what? It seems as if you've not heard me clearly, Kidackie. And I'm well aware that you've heard me clearly, but you choose not to hear me clearly in reference to what you're saying. Let me make it clear to you today, as I don't intend to speak this again, unless you join me live on a broadcast and you want us to engage in conversation. And I'm not mad at you. I'm speaking with passion because I'm a man. And that's what Norton can't handle in the first place. I don't joke when it comes to people's life in this country. Guyanese can hardly eat. Guyanese can barely make it in Guyana. And I'm happy that the man has finally found a voice to echo the thing I said to you all a long time ago. That you can't name for me Any Guyanese who can say on a normal basis, the average Guyanese, that they are enjoying the benefit of being the richest country in the world, you'll finally catch yourself up. Now you're telling me that just for us to get rid of the PPP civic, I should join you? That's it? That's it? I should give my support to people who, when Simona brooms or I go out in public, well, mainly Simona, because they don't come around me anyway. But when Simona goes out to lead in some protests, y'all jump and then follow Simona. Why must I follow? Why should I support Norton when a woman leads him in protesting in this country? For what? And he shows up and gives a comment or two because Sherrod would put a mic in his face and he talks to Sherrod and he's gone. Or speaks to the media and he disappears. Are you serious? Guyana is in such crisis at this moment. You all don't seem to understand, some of you. Your country is being raped. And Jack Dio is 100% guilty of what's happening to Guyana. For what's happening here. And Norton is yet to galvanize 5,000 people. 4,000. Listen to me. You know what will happen if 4,000 or 5,000 Guyanese go into Georgetown to tell Jagdio where to get off? Jagdio, you feel any police could handle 5,000 Guyanese telling them, you could kill me if you want. But this PPP administration will no longer play with our money and play around with Exxon and have Exxon doing whatever the gods to them so they could remain rich and we don't have the benefit of it. Do you know what happens if 5,000 Guyanese go to Georgetown to tell the PPP where to get off? Huh? State House is called State House for a reason. We own it. Do you know what happens if we tell Ali to get out of our house? Huh? Y'all could turn on outside for me, please. This is the feedback will be in here. Don't play with me. I'm not a part of your eggball politics. I am not a part of your eggball and your pylori politics. Don't play with me. If you are not courageous enough to represent people, I am not going to stand with you. And I'll say this to you because apparently you want to miss the point I've made forever. I am not against the PPP. I'm not against PNC. I'm not against APNU. I'm not against AFC. I am not against WPA. I am against weak leadership. I am against poor governance. What part of that y'all can get? I don't live my life to be led by weak people just because it's a PNC. So it's a PNC, so this is Bonham Party and this is a Black People Party. So whatever they do, I have to just suck my blows and we don't wash your dirty clothes in public. First of it, you don't hang your dirty linen. Why is it dirty? Why is your linen dirty? Let's address that. Because I don't know how you tell me I shouldn't hang dirty linen outside. You shouldn't hang it outside in the first place. Why is it dirty? Let's address that. Don't tell me where I should hang it. Tell me why it's dirty. Let me make it clear to you, sir. Let me be pellucid to you, sir. If the PNC or the PPP, whatever you want to call them, whichever group, tomorrow begins to treat Guyanese with respect, dignity, and honor, I will support them. You understand that? You get it clear yet? Has it hit your brain yet? Because I support good governance. I don't want power. I want good governance. Govern this country properly. Be fair to every Guyanese person. Don't don't tell me that no African Guyanese is qualified for a contract and only Indian people could get contract and their friends. No! Show me. Let me make this. If you are unprepared to die, I'm unprepared to stand with you. That's my policy. If you are unprepared to die for what you believe in, I will never stand with you. Norton's scared to be arrested. First thing. And I must support him. Support him to do what? Further, I say to you, since you all missed the point, members of parliament of the official opposition of this country went to Washington. Millions of Guyana dollars would have been spent. They went to Washington to meet with the Black Caucus, and they tried to meet with, or they say they're going to meet with those, the Democrats especially, the decision makers, Congressman Jeffries and so on, so that they can have Jagdeo dealt with. And Norton went there as well. And you're telling me, Mr. Kidackie, Amsterdam, that I should support a party, or Norton, who has to go to terrorists. That's what the US are. To neo-colonialists, neo means new, colonialists, neo-colonizers. They colonize Guyana because we have oil. They want to control our resource. And I must support a man and women who go to Washington to ask colonizers to deal with Jagdeo. You have 215,000 supporters. And you have to get on a plane to go to the USA to ask them to deal with Jagdeo. Who is Jagdeo? You all have to be joking. You have to be joking. You have got to be kidding me. Why should I in my right mind support anybody who goes to Massa to ask Massa to deal with Barrett because Barrett is misbehaving? So please, you have 215,000 supporters on record account of what Claudette gave you all, and you can't find 20,000 of them to deal with Barrett, but you have to go and ask people in Washington and take your photographs with them to show that you have the support of you shook Nancy Pelosi's hand. Nancy is a demon. Nancy Pelosi has got Mexican immigrants working on her farm, underpaying them, almost slave labor. But you can't tell her that she is a terrorist. You could tell me anything about supporting people who go and bowing to those sick-minded individuals? How do you support? How do you go and ask the US to support you when they said that they're going to sanction Uganda? They're going to sanction countries that are not promoting homosexual agendas, and you asking them to support you? So what do you think will happen to your Guyana? The fact that Norton will have to bow to their feet, if they put him in power, he has to do what they say in reference to the homosexual agenda. And we have people in this country who will sell your own children out to get the PPP out of office. I am here to announce to you that should Guyanese choose to allow the People's Movement to represent them, ExxonMobil will be dealt with within 24 hours. And that's not a game I'm playing here. Because ExxonMobil will not rape this country under the watch of the People's Movement or anyone who stands strong. And if the PNC get that kind of courage, I'll support you all tomorrow. You want me to support you? Show me that you're prepared to do that. And tomorrow I'll go on the street and stand with you all and say, I support the PNC. I don't care who's mad at me. If the PPP tomorrow, if tomorrow Jagdeo goes in front of Exxon office and says, enough is enough. You're not raping Guyana anymore. Get out of here. Until you fix this contract, I support the PPP tomorrow. You get the point yet, Mr. Kidackie Amsterdam? Don't bring me in your tribal politics foolishness. Guyana is too big a country in reference to what lies ahead of us in our destiny for me to play around with your preschool politics foolishness. If you want my support, tell Norton to be a man. It's that simple. Be a man and stand up where you should stand. And you'll get my support. I don't care who mad. I don't care who gets upset. I will become a PNC tomorrow if Norton can do what I tell you, which is to stand up to those who are raping my country. Tomorrow I'll support you. These people are flaring, you know what flaring is? Releasing poisonous gases into the air through heat. Consistently. And Jagdeo can't do them anything. Jagdeo sought to join with Exxon to fight Guyanese. When we're saying we're supposed to be protected from an oil spill and we must have unlimited insurance in case there's a big spill out there and it comes ashore, we all can't eat. So, to have unlimited insurance. Jagdeo is fighting that. And Norton can't get rid of Jagdeo. And I must support you. Jagdeo is treasonous in his conduct. Ali is an absolute waste of time. And I should support you. This is not about how many seats we have. It's about how many representatives we have who are genuine. Do you get the point? It's not about how many seats PNC gets or how many seats PPP get. I don't need to be president to represent people. And I don't need to be in the House of Assembly to represent people either. But the people's movement, we are governed by a basic principle. We will hold elected and selected officials accountable. That's not going to change. I don't care who you are. Including those in the people's movement, you'll be held accountable too, including me. You've got ministers, as they call themselves, living like big boys, driving Land Cruiser Prado around Georgetown as if they're little demigods. And one ministry has to have 5, 6, 7 Turtle and Cruisers and Prado, and nobody can deal with them. Some minister could decide he wants this vehicle. Who are you? That's our property. And Norton can't deal with that. But Kidackie wants me to give my support to Norton. Let me play another part for you.
It's not so.
I think a caller would have called in to give a comment, and I want to find that for you.
Trust me, deception, deceitfulness. And so I'm calling upon my in-your processor. You are.
So, some caller had said, and I wouldn't focus on people who call him to program and talk, because that's not my focus, but I'll address it nonetheless. The people are saying that I am in the wrong, essentially. Because I should not do this. Now is not the time to divide the party. That's what was actually said. That this is not the time to divide the party. Someone said to Kidackie Amsterdam, and Kidackie said it, that this is time for us to unite. And this is not the time to divide the party. Take a good look at me, please. Sir, I am not a member of PNC, of the People's National Congress, of a Partnership for National Unity, which is a united group or coalition. I'm not a member of AFC. I'm not a member of WPA. I'm not a member of the PPP. I want nothing to do with weak people. And you have the nerve to say to me that this is not a time to divide the party. Are you insinuating I'm part of the PNC? What are you saying? Because if you were to say, and a caller echoed you, that this is not the time to divide the party, I'm still waiting for the one to come and say how I misrepresent Kidackie say. You see, the person didn't show up yet. How can you say that this is not the time to divide the PNC and attribute that statement to my decision? Are you insinuating that I am in the PNC because I'm black? Is that what this has come to? So for as long as you are against the PPP, you are in the PNC? Is that what this has come to? Really? Really, Kidackie? You want to go there? Aubrey Norton was in Washington, I think he was, begging Massa to leave a drug deal, while a boatload or more, that's just what they saw, of Venezuelans were jumping onto the shore of Guyana. And Norton is yet to understand, apparently, or deal with the fact that our arch enemy is having people jump on our shore, and Irfan Ali cannot do anything, but more than that, they're seeking to help them in Grove. And the US is giving money to help Venezuelans in Guyana. When Venezuela is meeting in parliament to say that, and it's true, that the constitution of Venezuela states that Essequibo is a part of Venezuela. My brother Zacharias, shalom, shalom. The Venezuelan constitution states that Venezuela owns Essequibo. And the US is telling Irfan Ali to take care of Venezuelans in Guyana. And Norton can do nothing about it. When you have so many Guyanese who are starving, how do you have $10 million released, US, and $5 million US released to take care of Venezuelans? Have you seen how people live in Tiger Bay? Have you seen how people live in Alboystown? Have you seen how people live in the Region 3? Have you ever seen how some poor Indian people have to live? Have you ever gone to Blackbush, certain parts of Blackbush? Have you ever gone to certain parts of Crabwood Creek? Have you seen how some Indian people suffer in this country? Not just African people. And all you could do is watch Venezuelans walk onto our shores, and Norton can do nothing. You never have people out there, Norton, to stop them at the shore and say, hey, who are you? What you doing here? Instead, they're Venezuelans who are now boasting that they have ID card. Look at their ID card. They're boasting that they can acquire an ID card in Guyana as a Venezuelan. And Mr. Norton cannot find 2,000 Guyanese to stand and oppose that publicly. Mr. Press Conference Norton can never lead me. In this posture of his. Now, if he develops the chutzpah of Lyndon Forbes Sanson Burnham, if he develops the courage of Burnham, Norton and I could get along in 2 seconds. Because that's all I ask of him. Be a man. Be courageous. Lead. How hard is that? And in my closing moments, I submit to you that I will not be supporting any group. Neither will I be lending my voice to a group that is too afraid to tell the USA that they essentially are the cause of issues around the world. The US put their nose in everybody's business, and Norton doesn't want to lose his visa. the members of parliament don't want to lose their visas. So when you don't want to lose your visa, you have to be so careful about how you speak. And Sarah Ann Lynch has caused this country to spiral into political chaos. And Granger couldn't tell her to get out. The USA is responsible for destabilizing more nations than any other country in the world. Why should I, as a Guyanese male, be paying taxes for ExxonMobil, $1 trillion company? What is wrong with y'all? GRA would be quick to jump down my throat about taxes, and Exxon pays nothing to us for taking our oil. And Jagdeo said that if we have the means to extract the oil, then he could pressure Exxon. Jagdeo needs to be in jail, and that's being kind to him. The kindness to him would be to put him in jail. The rest you would know. So because we don't have the means to extract oil, Exxon could do what they want? Where in that speaks of strength in leadership? And Norton cannot deal with that. I have come here to inform you all that the people's movement, and as the leader of that said movement, we are prepared to lend support or to support collectively by uniting with those who are prepared to hold accountable anyone who jeopardizes the integrity, the sanctity, and the sovereignty of this country. In actuality, the people's movement must fight for Guyana to be truly sovereign. We must govern our affairs. I would never go to the US to ask them to deal with Jagdeo. There are too many ways to deal with Jagdeo in Guyana that doesn't require the US's involvement. I would not ask them to please intervene because the PPP is harassing and discriminating against black people. There are too many Africans in this country for me to have to ask the USA to deal with us, because the USA, the whites in the USA who lead the USA hate black people. Let's not forget that Biden said that when he looked at the class where he had an African child and so on, it was like a zoo. Let's not forget that Ukrainians were being told, you can come here. But Haitians are being kicked out of the US because they're black. Let's not forget that Haitians, because they're black, under this PP administration are not allowed to come to Guyana, though they are part of CARICOM, major hype. Under this people here, Africans who suffer the most, who are Haitians, are told that they mustn't come here. But Venezuela could jump off a boat and then be given grants and aid in our country. And Norton can't fight for Haitian people. And you're telling me, again, Amsterdam, that I should support y'all in what? You, Kidackie, in my closing remark. And rightfully so, admirably so, went and stood in front of, well, you tried to go in front, but they blocked you at Lamaha Street, and so you can't go to GCOM. And you were standing there consistently saying that the voter list is a sham. It's a sham. And you were insisting that it has to be fixed. Where, Kidackie, was Norton? Norton didn't come to support you, Kidackie Amsterdam. He didn't bring the whole House of Assembly that's on his side. He didn't bring the 31 members of Parliament or 30 others to stand with you, Kidackie Amsterdam. Where were they, Kidackie Amsterdam? They couldn't even come to support you when you were standing to have a proper voting system in this country to benefit all of us. And you are telling me that I should not divide the country or divide your party, as a matter of fact, or your group, but we should all lend ourselves to get Norton in power. Are you out of your mind? Well, you have to be. Because I submit you to David Hines, never asked me to do what you're doing. And David Hines would not even take the risk to ask me to do what you're doing. You spoke to my having similar views or similar convictions to the WPA. No, it's about David Hines and his position. David understands my position and I understand his. And to date, I have not seen David Hines cower and be afraid of anybody. And that is what I speak to. It's not about the WPA. I shall never encourage anyone to support what I despise. I repeat, I shall never encourage anyone to support what I despise. If you want me to come to the WP, as you say, you have to understand, young man, that I don't want room in the WPA. And I don't want room to have an opportunity to go anywhere. I'm simply saying to you all that if you do well, persons will choose, I would like to think, to lend their voice and their support to you. If you do not do well, then they would not do so. I don't have the desire and the ambition, the goal, at the end of the day, to lead. It is to serve. Because I've seen enough foolishness in my country. I have had enough of the nonsense. Hence, if it means that I have to serve in the House of Assembly, so be it. But wherever my service can be rendered to stop this collapse of this nation at the hands of the PNC, the weakened PNC, and the wicked PVP, so shall it be. And I hope that I've made myself as clear as I had to. I hope, Kidackie, Amsterdam, that you are prepared on any given occasion to sit on a platform with me and have us exchange views so that the whole world can hear what you're asking me to support. No problem. My mother said the people's movement will grow. This is the catalyst for people to see what is leadership. Thank you so much, Mommy. I have never chosen the easy road in life. I have never chosen the easy paths in life. I believe that I should look at a mountain and say, I could deal with you one rock at a time. My father, Errol London, has said, I agree 100% with the position you have taken, son. Anyone seeking your support must prove that they are worthy of such support. Let me read my father's statement. Everything in the political landscape of Guyana hinges on promotion of the dignity and welfare of the Guyanese people. Stand your ground, son. I shall, my father. I shall stand my ground. Some of you don't know. You do not know the offers that are being made to me consistently, and I reject them all. Because if you're not going to do right by Guyanese people, I am not going to lend my face to any of your promotions and your party to say that we have Nigel London here. We have Apostle London, as you called me, and Apostles on our side, hence the votes will come in. I am not doing that. I would like to submit to you that I can be a billionaire within a year if I accept certain offers. I am not doing it. Let's just get this clear on this for Kidackie to understand. I am not doing it. I am not going to sell my soul, my conviction to any political group in this country. My service is for free. Do right by the people. Once you do right by the people, you have my support. You don't have to give me any contract. You don't have to give me some position. You don't have to put me as a candidate as you've offered. You don't have to put me as a party leader as you've offered. That this could happen in any of the two of y'all. This is not happening. This is not happening. Don't tell me party leadership and being in the upper tier and upper rank. It is not happening. Just do right by the people. That is all I require of you. Because it's only fair for all Guyanese to have better. And for all Guyanese to see a different Guyana. The people's movement, I believe, if Guyanese understand the cause, and if Guyanese understand the courage, and if Guyanese can associate with the continents of leadership in the people's movement, they'll understand that Jagdeo would weep and hide, if he can, the day the people's movement has a chance to deal with him in the legal sphere of this country. I promise you that. The likes of Irfan Ali and those who believe that they were supposed to be rich off of the back of people in this country, they would not want to see the people's movement having decision-making powers for 5 minutes in this country. Those of you in PNC who had all of your benefits and land that you could acquire because you had position, you don't want us to deal with you all for 5 seconds. And that's why you can try your best, and you would, to fight. And I dare say, let the smear campaign begin. Begin to throw all the things you want to say about me in public. It wouldn't change my resolve to deal with you, because the people must deal with y'all. I'm grateful for your time spent here with me, viewers. And I'd be further grateful if you can, or more grateful, if you can share this broadcast. Let those who have ears to hear what I've said. And I do hope that Kidackie Amsterdam can be better informed before he mentions my name, and can understand clearly what is associated with my name. Just understand that. What you can also do for me, Kidackie, is ask Norton, why is it that Jagdeo could say so much about him? At his face, Jagdeo can't deal with me yet. Although I've said it on many occasions, that I'm prepared to deal with Jagdeo publicly. Let us have a face-to-face conversation or a live streaming conversation publicly, Barrett. Why has he not accepted that offer yet? Thank you, and do well.